welcome back to my channel. I'm in my bathroom because I just got dressed and ready, but I wanted to jump on here and say thank you so much for joining me. Today's video is a glam with my beautiful model, Kylie Fisher. So thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. This look is so much fun. It's beautiful, it's bronzy, it's coppery, and I used a lot of my new Charlotte Tilbury products that I love. All right, let's go. Okay guys, so if you follow makeup at all on any platform of social media, you have seen this viral makeup trend called latte makeup. So it is basically a bronzy makeup look that has been coined latte makeup, but it is something that I have created often, and it's requested very often from my clients, and then of course I switch it up from client to client, and of course as makeup trends change, but it is, like I said, just a bronzy glowy look. So I've already prepped her skin with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, and to prep her eyelids I am taking the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I am just using, as you can see, my finger and a concealer brush to run that from her lash line all the way to the top of her brow bone, just under her eyebrow. Now, this acts as an eyeshadow primer. I am using this to cancel out any discoloration in the eyelids, and honestly, it's a 2-for-1 deal. You don't need a primer for this. And then for her brows, she has a really nice brow and a nice arch, so I am just filling in the sparse areas, and I actually grabbed the e.l.f. Brow pencil in the shade Neutral Brown. So you'll watch here, I like to use the spoolie to kind of buff out any harsh lines as I'm filling and just running that color back and forth. I have a full brow tutorial. You can watch exactly how I fill in brows and my method, where to put the product, how far to extend the brow, and how not to extend the brow. And I will include that in a link above. So be sure to check that out as well. So as I was saying earlier, this is a look that is definitely trending right now, but latte makeup is, again, just a bronzy look. So I've been doing makeup for over 10 years, and it is something that has been requested for 10 years. It just changes a little bit with the trend. Again, just influencers have coined it this. So, hey, I'm jumping in and doing it too. I actually have a quick tutorial on my YouTube that I did on myself, but I wanted to do an in-depth one. Okay, I'm using the NYX Brow Glue in the shade Taupe and just running that through her brows just to make sure they stay. So we, of course, like that laminated look, but she naturally has that anyway. So I'm just really coating those brows. And then next up, this is the Bella Sophia eyeshadow palette from Charlotte Tilbury. And I am taking, you will see on the right, the brown and the cranberry, and kind of mixing those two very lightly and running that in the crease of her eye. So if you were to tilt your head back, where that eye socket kind of lays, where your eyeball lays just below the brow bone, is where I am placing that. A little bit, actually more so on the brow bone. But that is a great place to kind of figure out where to lay that first crease shade. As you can see, Kylie and I like to talk. Now, any of the girls that I've had on my YouTube channel, we have great relationships and we're close. So it's more of like just a girl session than it is a glam session for me. Just a side note, Her right brow looks darker than her left brow, and it has to be the lighting because I definitely would have caught that. So, anyway, just buffing these shadows in to make sure all of the additional shadows that we add in are going to transition nicely. So, watch as I'm applying this. Once I dip that fluffy brush into the shadow, I'm tapping that out. And then apparently I have a lot to say in between that, but tapping it out and then hitting the crease with that shadow and just building it up. So basically with any makeup, we do not want any harsh lines unless you're doing something, of course, like a winged liner or anything like that. But you will see I just continue to build up this look. So I just keep dipping that fluffy brush into the brown and the cranberry and adding it in a little at a time. And this is going to ensure that everything is just buffed out so nicely. So you can be messy with it too, because as you see, I'm doing her eyes first. So the reason behind that is if I were to do the face first, now this is for me personally. This is not like a blanket statement that everybody has to do eyes before face. But for me, I tend to go a little bit heavier and will have fallout. So I can clean up that under eye right after I apply and then go in and do my face. So if I were to do the face first, of course, and then do my eyes and I had fallout, then I'd have to wipe off all that under eye concealer. So buffing, 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 and that's the name of the game here. Okay, so for eyeliner, I am taking an angled eyeshadow brush, or an angled eyeliner brush, rather, and using that exact same palette and going in with that dark brown and running that shadow as close to the lash line as possible. Now, if you want to learn how to do this technique, I will link in the top corner my makeup for beginners, and I show exactly how to do it. It is so easy, but I love it because you can really build this up, and then if you do false lashes or whatever and you want to add a liquid or gel or a pencil, it's so easy to do, and it just adds an additional layer of dimension. Okay, so on that palette, the bottom left shade is a shimmer eyeshadow. I'm taking my finger and placing that on her lid and kind of buffing it up into the crease. It's a beautiful, beautiful coppery brown, and it really makes blue, green, and even brown eyes really, really pop. And you'll see that here in just a second. I know I'm probably killing you all with all these Charlotte Tilbury products, but I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury eyeliner, pencil, and shimmering brown, and running that on the top of her lash line, in addition to the shadow we just laid down. And also, I will run this in her waterline on the top. You see how it really, really tickles whenever you do this, but you see how I'm running that. It will just make her lashes really pop. So you can do this with any brown shadow, any brown eyeliner or black, whatever you prefer, but running it on that top waterline just really makes your lashes stand out. Okay, so next up, I'm just popping on some mascara for her. This is the Milani, I don't remember what it's called, but all of these products are linked in the description box below. I love this mascara. It's a tubing mascara, and it really makes your lashes stand out. So if you're not going to do false lashes, a tubing mascara is the way to go. And this is about $12. Now, this is her tube, so I don't use the mascara wand that's mine on other people, but seriously, I love the Milani. So after a couple good coats of mascara, we decided to still do false lashes because that's just what we do. So these are the Ardell Demi Wispies, and I used the black Duo golly, my brain today, blah, blah, blah. I used the Black Duo glue for these. And then I'm just taking a liquid liner and lining that on just the band of the false lashes. It just makes everything a little more cohesive and ties it together. So as you can see, I do several different types of liner. I just like the way that it looks, and in person and up close, it really makes the eye pop. And of course, you see here, like I just said, going back in with that powder and just buffing it all in. It's so pretty in person, and it's beautiful on camera as well, but it just adds extra dimension. And this technique is perfect for that lower lash line as well. It can really smoke and buff out the lower lash line to tie everything together, and it's so, so, so pretty. So I'm using the underpainting technique here that will have your makeup looking all things beautiful, stunning, flawless. This is the Rare Beauty in the shade Always Sunny. So I tend to go a little bit warmer when I do the underpainting technique, which is laying your bronzer or contour down first, blending that out, doing your concealer, blending that out, and then your foundation over top of it. And it just makes the makeup look so flawless, and there's no harsh lines. So anyway, I'm just going straight in with this product on her face, and I'm not precise about it at all. So we're just bronzing. So don't give me any hate for that. Not that I get hate really, but when I say it like that, it sounds snobby. But I mean, I don't have a ton of followers where I have trolls yet. Thank goodness. But I'm buffing that out with the NYX fan brush. And anyway, the reason I said don't give me any hate, because a lot of people tell you to not put a bronzer or contour directly on the face, to put it on the back of your hand or go in with it on the brush. But I know what I'm doing, so I'm doing it that way. But if you're a beginner, you might want to do it that way. You might want to put it on the brush first and then apply it. But the key is, no matter how you apply it, if you're blending and buffing, you're golden. You're going to be fine. So I'm buffing that into the hairline. Now, if you've seen any of my videos before, I go around the perimeters of the face. So we're hitting that forehead, really getting it into the hairline. You're going under the cheekbones to define and warm that up. And then I always go on the sides of the nose with the bronzer. Look at that bronzer slopped on her chin, and I'm sitting here telling you I know what I'm doing. It looks like I don't, but just wait. So buffing and blending is the key to any good makeup look, and a good brush. So up and out, lifting. That's what you want to think every time you blend out your makeup. Okay, so my next step in this technique is to conceal. It doesn't have to be your next step, but this is how I've been doing it. I'm just concealing her under eye. Now here I'm using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer again. I use the Radiant Creamy Concealer on her eyelids as well, but this is just a little bit warmer shade or peachier shade to do it, just a touch of color correcting underneath. We're just concealing where we absolutely need to. Now, again, I know the bronzer here looks crazy, but this is one of those moments where you have to trust the process. So concealing where we need to, and then you'll see here in just a minute, we're going to go in with a brightening concealer, a very, very light brightening concealer. Okay, so we're blending out just the rest of that. And again, like I said, in the contour or bronzing portion, everything is still being blended up and towards that temple. So for the brightening, I am using the e.l.f. concealer in the shade yellow. So this is not the concealer that is the camo concealer. It's different. It's linked below. This is a great product for brightening, but I like to use it to layer. You're not really going to get coverage here, but you're going to get the brightening effect. Another one that is excellent is the Rare Beauty. They have a brightening concealer as well. So really just want to make that lit from within look. We're doing latte makeup. When I think latte makeup, you might think a cup of coffee or whatever, but the truth is it's bronzy look. It's a bronzy look. So I'm thinking she wants to look lit from within. She wants to look healthy and glowy and dewy and like she's been out in the sun. And a yellow concealer is so wonderful for that. So if I'm feeling drab, I will color correct where I need to. Like definitely under my eyes, I need to cancel out any dark circles or what looks like bruising. Do a little bit of concealer and then I'll go over it with a brightening. So here I am going in with foundation. So this is what's going to even all of that craziness out and make it look flawless. Don't kill me, but the foundation that I'm using is the Charlotte Tilbury. Again, it's the lightest one that they make. I can't remember the name of it, but as always, it will be linked below. And I'm dragging that product down her neck to make sure, again, everything is cohesive. But yeah, so this will really cancel out any of that orangeness that you see that's pulling on the camera, and it's going to look more bronze because that's what we're going for. So anyway, also just to let you know, a good foundation brush and concealer brush is a game changer. So this is going to just really help apply that foundation. Now, a lot of people ask, can I use my fingers? Yeah, you can always use your fingers. When you apply your foundation with your fingers, you are going to get probably a lighter coverage. Now, if you're using a brush, you're going to get a little bit heavier coverage. I want a little bit heavier because I'm using such a light foundation. It's very sheer. And I'm just doing my final blending and buffing. And then we're going to go in and set that under eye. I am using, guess what? The Charlotte Tilbury White Brightening Powder for under the eye. It makes such a big difference. And then I'm taking that dark brown that's in the bottom right corner and running that on her lower lash line, tapping out any excess so we don't have any fallout to ruin that complexion, and just buffing that in all the way to that inner corner. Okay, so next up, I'm taking that cranberry and lighter bronzy shade and mixing it together and just buffing out that dark line. And it blends everything out, buffs it out. Honestly, it looks airbrushed. And it's tying all those colors from the lid and upper lash line together to give a flawless finish. Sorry, my little boy came in and was chatting it up with Kylie here. So I'm taking that same eyeliner from before and running that on her waterline. It's got gold flakes in it and it's so pretty. Okay, taking that coppery shimmery shade with that flat eyeliner brush and popping it just in the middle of her lower lash line and then finishing it off with a good coat of mascara on the bottom. As you can see, her blue eyes are giving. I mean, this is perfection. They look like the waters of Maui. I don't even know. Okay, cream blush. I'm loving this blush. This is e.l.f. It's like a burnt orange shade. I'll link that below. I want to say Bora Bora or Tahiti, one or the other. Anyway, it's linked below. Popping that on the apples of her cheek and kind of taking it up the cheekbone. Anywhere the sun is going to naturally hit is what you're thinking. Now, notice my brush. It is a foundation brush that I'm using. It's a flat top kabuki brush, and it blends out a cream blush or even a liquid blush so pretty. So I'm not using a fluffy brush here. We want this color to really be dispensed heavily. A little bit of highlighter. This is from a Scott Barnes palette, but it is in a copper shimmery shade, but I'm going to link something that's a little bit more accessible. That Scott Barnes palette is wonderful if you're a makeup artist, but not so practical for every day. Now, if you know me or follow me, I'm obsessed with Iconic Nude by Charlotte Tilbury. So, yes, there are plenty of dupes out on the market, but ain't none of those dupes gonna stay on your lips like this liner does from Charlotte Tilbury. It is long lasting, so pretty. We are clearly in a heated discussion here about something. So I'm running that along her lip line, but I'm going a little bit below the center of the lip, and that's going to give like almost like you have a little bit of lip filler. It's going to make that bottom lip look a little bit more pouty, and that's what we want. So I'm not just lining the lips here, I'm actually filling in the lips. I love this with a lip liner because I like to have a glossy look, and I think it's perfect to fill a lip and then go over it with a gloss. So I tend to leave the center of the lip, especially the bottom lip, kind of blank, and or at least I'm not going as heavy as I am when I line and fill the other parts. And then again, top it off with a a lip gloss. I think that next time that I film, I'm just going to have to be zoomed in a little bit more, because while I am walking you through each tip and technique, I want you to be able to see a little bit more. But bear with me because I am still going through that trial and error stage of content creating. All right, so this is the shade Copper from Maybelline in the Lifter Gloss. I love this gloss, and it is perfect for this look. It's a bronzy, again, copper shade. Or maybe this is Rust. I don't know. I'm going to look. I will check it out. And again, everything is linked below. My gosh, she's stunning. Let's check it out. So we turned the ring light off for this. Is this not beautiful and perfect in every way? It's exactly what we went for. It's exactly what we wanted. Giving Latte makeup and honestly, Bronze Goddess.